Hi guys, welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Tonight's show, the double header. Tonight we'll be looking at the East Midlands derby as Leicester take on local rivals Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup fourth round. It's something that we're going to look forward to. We'll also be looking at the Leicester City women, the relegation battle as they travel to St Andrews to take on the Birmingham City side. Two big games this weekend. A lot to talk about. I've got Craig, who watches quite a lot of the Birmingham women from the Birmingham City Women's Supporters Group. He'll be giving me an insight in what to expect from Birmingham and how well they perform this season. And then after that, we'll get straight into the East Midlands derby, get your thoughts on memories of the recent games against Forest, and get your views. Guys, get your views in, get your comments in. As always, smash a like, share, subscribe for me, as always. Please follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, wherever you can find us at Leicester Fan TV. Please go and do so. It'd be a massive help. Right, guys. Let's get going, shall we? And let's crack on with the show.
Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Are you ready for the show? Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. We want your views, we want your comments, so join us live. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi guys, welcome to tonight's Wednesday Fanzone show. If you're just joining me, smash a like, share, subscribe, as always, to Leicester Fan TV. We want your views, we want your comments, as always. I'll be joined by Craig from the Birmingham City Women's Supporters Group. He'll be talking to me about everything to expect from a Birmingham point of view. As Leicester City women charge to St Andrews. It's going to be a very tasty and eventful one. And of course, after that, it's me and you. We're going to talk about the East Midlands derby, your memories of Leicester versus Forest, or Forest versus Leicester, whatever you want to call it. Talk about all memories, goals, your favourite goal, your favourite moments. We're going to get all that in. Let's get a few good evenings in then. You good, Jackie? Yes, I'm good. Thank you, Redface. How are you, pal? Hi, Jack. How's you? So, 8 you going to the Forest game? Well, I've got tickets. And do you know if it's on TV? Yes, it's on BBC One on Sunday evening. Maz, looking forward to the Forest game. So's everybody. 8 years in the making. Evening, Jack. You going on Sunday? Yes. Sold my Forest tickets for £2,000 today. Happy days. They're gonna be like gold dust. I mean, people who can't go, I mean, it's like gold dust, isn't it? Everyone wants a piece of the action. So it's gonna be an interesting one. Right, guys, let's get my guest in tonight then. It's Craig from the Birmingham City Women's Supporters Group. Craig, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me on the show, Jack.
No, pleasure. Craig, let's get down to business then. Birmingham City Women versus Leicester City Women. This one's made for a very tasty encounter, isn't it, in the West Midlands on Sunday afternoon?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a great game, and hopefully it's got goals as well.
Yes. So, Craig, what are your thoughts on Birmingham this season so far, watching them in the WSL?
It's been a bit of a roller coaster. The same could be said probably for the last four seasons or so now. There's just been so much going on. You've had managerial departures this season. You had Scott Booth have to leave earlier on this season, replaced by the interim manager, Darren Carter, former Blues player himself. And it's been a series of things that have happened, and obviously have to respond to them. And hopefully we're going in the right direction now, and hopefully we've got enough time to turn it around. But you wouldn't want to see that yourself, but I would say that.
It's a big game, isn't it? As a Blues fan on Sunday, it's something where it's a relegation battle, isn't it, Craig? Leicester are 2 points ahead of Blues. What are you expecting to happen in the game, and what are you nervous about happening from a Blues fan's perspective, as well as obviously you guys wanting to win that game?
I think in the reverse fixture, which we'll probably get onto, I don't think there was enough fight. I don't think there was enough testing of the keeper from a Blues perspective in that one when we played at the King Power. And I'm expecting Blues to come out a bit more fiery in this one. They showed a lot of physicality against Arsenal in particular in the win over them. So hopefully we can see that again. And don't give Leicester as much of a what would you say? I'm trying to think of the good word. And a lot of time on the ball. I'll say that. Yeah, just a bit too much respect. That was the word I was trying to think. A bit too much respect on the ball. Hopefully, we'll be more into it from the off in this one.
What are your thoughts on the manager, Craig, since coming in at Birmingham? I mean, you had the manager before. It didn't go too great, did it? I mean, he didn't really get the players in, did he, in the summer? Well, how is Darren done from your end, looking into the Birmingham perspective, is taking the Blues forward?
I think I'm not someone who's particularly happy to get rid of the manager too quickly. I think I gave Marta Teledor, who was the manager before, back before Carla Ward all that long ago, a lot more time than some fans did. I think Scott Booth again. I was surprised they got rid of him so early, but when Darren came in, as someone who hasn't worked in the women's game, it was a surprise that they gave him the job. But then again, nothing surprises me nowadays. But I think in terms of what he's done, I think bringing in Marcus Bignot, a man was a previous manager at Birmingham City, was a good coaching appointment, helped him understand the game from that perspective. And I think they've obviously added a lot of goals. They've been more attacking since he's come in. And maybe we've conceded a number of goals still, but in terms of we're more competitive in a game, because before we were conceding a lot of goals and not really going to have any chance of winning a game when you're 2-0 down and you can't even score one goal. So it's much more attacking from that perspective so far.
Yeah. How have you found the last few games, Craig? Beating Arsenal 2-0, people would say you caught Arsenal on a bad day. How did you find that game? Did it give you the confidence after that game? Do you feel?
Yeah, it was a game that I don't think anyone expected that result. But I think Blues, if you watch the game, we actually outplayed them. We played them off the park, which is ridiculous considering Arsenal were top of the table. Yes. They might still be top of the. They're up there certainly anyway. Still, and to beat them 2-0 comfortably, we didn't look really in trouble all throughout that game. They still had players like Miedemar playing. And you had Kim Little, Jordan Nobbs, all these big names. It's not a team that they were missing big names. They had a lot of big names in that squad, and we still got the win. And from there, you expected, that we can beat anyone if we're going to beat Arsenal. And then losing 5-0 to Man United the following week was disappointing. But then in most games, we're scoring goals. There's only 2 occasions since Darren came in that we haven't scored. That was the Man United game and, of course, the game against Leicester. But it's interesting to see how we're managing to compete against maybe the bigger teams and then struggling against teams we maybe should be getting points against. So it's interesting to see how the rest of the season will go.
Yes. The Reading game. Let's talk about that one. You guys went 2-0 up. What went wrong, Craig? I mean, looking in from a neutral perspective at Birmingham this season, it's been defensive errors after defensive errors, hasn't it? I mean, the defence isn't as solid as Darren wants it to be.
No, it's an interesting one in that game. Obviously, I couldn't believe we were 2-0 up to start with, and then there was a big delay for an injury, which kind of changed the game. The players didn't seem to get back up for the game after that massive, I think it's about 10-minute delay. Yeah. And then they scored late on in that first half, which gave Reading momentum going into the second half, and then Blues never really responded, and they just let Reading keep going on, and then 7 minutes after the break, they were 3-2 down, and then we never came back into the game after that, which is a disappointment, really. But in terms of the defence, though, you've got someone who's very young, Gemma Lawley, who's came in from the youth academy, got promoted last year under Carla Ward. She's getting more experience. You've got obviously Louise Quinn, a really experienced defender, a WSL winner herself, and then Harriet Scott, who's been around for a long time, was a former Reading player herself. So it's a team with some experience in, but there's still youth coming through. But I think it's just a case of tidying up those errors, which were really prominent in the first half of the season in particular.
Yeah. What were your expectations, Craig, this season? I mean, knowing the business didn't go as well in the summer is what you'd liked it to. I mean, what was your expectations for Birmingham this season? Where did you actually think there was going to finish realistically as a Birmingham City fan?
I think any time you've got pretty much a whole new first 11 going into a season, you're going to be struggling. And I think I always expected we were going to be in a relegation battle from the start, but it was depending on which teams we were going to be facing. Before the season started, I thought Leicester would be comfortably mid-table going into the season. And maybe it was one of the other teams looking out to face. Reading didn't do very well last season, so maybe them. But it's not turned out that way. But I did expect us to be down there. But it was a up and down to see if we would stay up, and we're still in the fight. So hopefully.
Yes. What are your thoughts on Leicester, Craig, watching them this season? I mean, what were your expectations of Leicester? Obviously, you say they was expected to finish mid-table this season. How do you think Leicester's played? Have you expected a lot more from Leicester, or do you think you expected the same?
I did expect more, given that they brought in a lot of players who have WSL experience going into the season, the likes of Georgia Brome, and etc. I saw them against Aston Villa on the opening day, where Leicester started really well. Villa were very slow to get going in that game, and then eventually Aston Villa turned it around late on, and it was. It's weird that I think that in that game you saw Natasha Flint was taking a lot of shots in that game, and she looked a real handful. And then as the season's gone on, she hasn't seemed to get the minutes that she deserves, and that surprises me, given you can't get the goals when you need them. Yeah.
Yes. Let's talk about three of the former Blues then. Freya Gregory, Georgia Broham, and Connie Schofield. Tell me about them at their time at Birmingham. How did they fare, and did you think they'd be, with Freya Gregory, obviously she's still young, isn't she? She's got huge potential. What were your expectations of them, watching them at Blues? Do you think they could have played for bigger clubs, or?
Freya Gregory was very young when she made a debut for Blues, and then she obviously went to Aston Villa after that, following a lot of trend that a lot of Blues players have gone to Villa in the last 3 or 4 seasons. I think one of our academy coaches went to Aston Villa, so a lot of the young players went there following them afterwards. I think she's someone with a lot of potential. She's very raw still, someone who will very definitely improve in the next few years, and you'll see her on the in WSL for years to come. Georgia Brome, she's been in the WSL for a long time now. She was at Everton for a long time. She was on loan at Birmingham for like 4 seasons. It was ridiculous that she just kept getting loaned out until her contract ran out, and then she obviously decided to go to Leicester City. I think she's someone who's very reliable as in a back 4 that we saw at Blues. And the other one was Connie Schofield, someone who I was really disappointed when she left the club in the summer, because I think she was someone who they could have built around the midfield for Blues going forward. She's someone who's very tenacious. In particular, the game against Villa, she was very instrumental in the win that we got at Villa Park last season. She was affectionately known as Isco because she's very technically gifted on the ball. So she's someone she's out of the 3. I think she was the most disappointing to lose in the summer.
I think with Connie, she obviously signed for Leicester, and then she got a foot injury. It's kept her out for kind of a while now. She obviously played in the FA Cup at the weekend against the winner over Tottenham. Do you think we'll see Connie's attributes in that, and how good of she is as a player as the season goes on, Craig, the more time she gets on the pitch?
Yeah, I think she didn't get loads of minutes at Blues because of the just the players that we had at the time that she couldn't get in the team. But I think the more that she gets game time, you'll see the talent that she can do, and as long as she's playing every other week at least, you'll see her development as she gets back to full fitness.
Yes, let's have a look at Birmingham then. 13 games, 1 win, 1 draw, 11 defeats. I mean, it's not too kindly looking at a record, is it? How do you feel that Birmingham have took to games, even though they have lost 11 games? How do you feel they've actually got on this season from the start to where they are now?
I think under Scott, there was a lot of individual mistakes that were costing us games when we were losing like 1-0, 2-0. Which ultimately lost him his job. And then since Darren's come in, we've been much more competitive in games. Obviously, a 3-2 defeat to Man City. We lost on penalties to London Sea Lionesses in the WSL Cup. Then we obviously lost to Leicester City. But then the win off over Arsenal. Then again, Man United, who are in good form at the moment, we lost to them. And then competitive against Reading, who are really doing well this as we get further into the season. They're starting to find their form as well. So we're competing against teams maybe we weren't competing earlier on in the season. So hopefully, as we go into the second half of the season, you'll see much tighter games and the score lines will be more evenly matched, where we won't get blown away like against the likes of obviously the top 4, where you expect to lose, but hopefully by not that many goals.
Yes. What are Birmingham's strengths and weaknesses then, Craig, going into this Sunday's game?
I think when we play as we should be playing, there's a very tenacious attitude from the team. They're very willing to work for each other. There's a lot of movement in the team. You've got attackers who can play across the whole of the front line, like Lucy Quinn can play either side. Via Tricky Sari can play either sides. Then you've got the midfield. You've got Christy Murray, who's been around for a long time. She's very technical on the ball. She can find the pass really quickly. You've got people who can deliver great set pieces. Christy Murray as well. Rebecca Holloway, who plays left back, also on left midfield. There's a lot of technical players who can, if they're given time, get that killer ball to create differences. It's just a case of getting them on the ball quickly enough in the game to make the difference. Yes. And in terms of weaknesses, I'd say it's just a lot of individual errors, really. I think we players perhaps dwell on the ball a bit too much, and then obviously if they do that, then they're inviting pressure. And then, as we saw with that first Leicester goal at the King Power, they dawdled on the ball, and as soon as she gets it to the foot, she takes the shot first time, and the keeper is beaten, and then the game's on the back foot from there. And obviously, Leicester ultimately went on to win.
What sort of players will you look out for, Craig, from a Leicester perspective? What sort of players do you think can threaten Blues and can change the game for Leicester if Leicester's not going their way? Obviously, Leicester's got a high of confidence, haven't they? Beating Birmingham, beating Brighton, beating Spurs at weekend. Do you fear Leicester, Craig, going into this one? How good they've become under Lydia Bedford?
I think they've been very impressive. I think the obviously the physicality in terms of speed, there's a lot of speed in that Leicester side, which could threaten a team. Louise Quinn's was on, I think, TalkSport the other day saying she's not the quickest centre back, so she'll be under pressure with the likes of Freya Gregory coming at her, Jess Sigsworth, Natasha Flint as well. So they're the ones to keep an eye on. Obviously, I was quite impressed with Shannon O'Brien. She's
Yes.
Obviously someone I saw at Coventry United when she was there, and she's someone who's developing really well as a footballer, and she's obviously got that goal for you against Tottenham the other day. So yeah, there's a lot of quality in this Leicester side. It just maybe took the new manager to get the best out of them.
Yes, I mean, we didn't start well under Jonathan Morgan. I mean, it's always difficult, isn't it, Craig, coming up from the Championship to then you've got to adapt quickly, haven't you, to the WSL, because it's a more feistier league, more fight, more energy. It's about fitness as well, isn't it? I mean, the girls got to be up to it just like that, haven't they? There's got to be no taking time. You've got to straight in, and it's a difficult league, and it's more of a challenge, isn't it, compared to the Championship, and more better level of football.
Yeah, I think fitness is definitely an important thing. You can see that in the FA Cup games when they play lower league teams, just the difference. Eventually, they get worn down by just the physicality of the WSL sides. But it's interesting. I think Leicester and Aston Villa in recent seasons have done. I would say have made too many changes. Obviously, the team that have got you to get you promoted to the WSL, they Jonathan Morgan would know how that team fits in. But obviously, if you change like most of the first starting 11, you're going to have a lot more time to get them to gel to the system he wants to play, and ultimately that cost him. But I think, it making too many changes, I think, is the mistake that a lot of WSL newly promoted teams make. But if you don't, then maybe the team's just not going to be good enough and it'll be even worse. But I don't think we've seen that if teams take a chance and rely on the players that brought them to the dance, if they can do it. But it's an interesting one to consider.
Yes, let's talk about ex-Fox then, Libby Smith. How has she fitted in at Blues since signing for Blues? We know a lot of her at Leicester, very talented, very good with the ball, can score goals. How is she fitted in at Birmingham in that perspective, Craig? And how good is she at Birmingham this season?
Yeah, I think she's a very versatile player. That's why she's also played at right back in a few games this season. But I think she's starting to find a position now as the lead striker, and she's been causing problems. She's been scoring goals recently as well, which is good to see finally. After not really having many chances, so it's good to see that she's finally got a chance to show what she can do, leading the line for Blues going forward this season.
Yes, let's talk about last time round then. Leicester beat you 2-0. We could have had more in that second half if Sigsworth could capitalise on the goals and that. I mean, how did Blues fare against Leicester, Craig, at the King Power Stadium? Obviously, Sophie Howard scored that banger. And then we got the second goal with Sam Tierney. How did you find that game, going into that game and watching it as a whole?
We'd actually taken a coach load of fans down to the Leicester game from Birmingham for this one. So our expectations were a bit higher, considering we thought we could get something from this game. It was a real disappointment, I think, for a lot of fans who did travel, just what the performance was like. I think we didn't test the keeper enough in this game. I think it's one shot on target out of 11 shots. So you know it's not going your way when that happens. I'm surprised we got 44% of the possession, really. I didn't think we did enough with the ball when we had it. We were second to the ball when there was 50-50s. It was just, I think Leicester were more up for this game, and I think they took their chances, and we didn't create enough chances to trouble Leicester. And once they were 2-0 up, it was game over, really.
I think it was a game that Leicester looked at where they thought, it's a game we can definitely go and win. I mean, Lydia Bedford, obviously since coming in, she's offered that energy, that fight, that team spirit, that togetherness. The girls are very tight-knitted, and they're developing well under Lydia and getting better and better. I mean, Ash Plumpter in defence, I mean, she's one of them who likes to drive forward and that. I mean, how do Blues learn from the 2-0 defeat to Leicester to going into the weekend, Craig? How do they learn from their mistakes, and how do they approach this game on Sunday?
I think they're going to be wary of the counter-attack and the speed of Leicester City. I think if they are solid at the back, maybe play free in the middle, then with two wing-backs, and then try and look to break themselves if they get the ball, and then get that killer pass, as I mentioned, with the likes of Rebecca Holloway and Christy Murray on the ball. I think it's going to be tough. I think with the expectations from both teams are that they're going to get something from this game, and obviously Leicester are in the better position now that they could get a draw and still be happy with it, because Birmingham City need to win this game, and obviously Leicester in a more comfortable position that way. But I think that will also change the game. I think Leicester City will be comfortable to sit back a bit more than Blues will, because they'll have to go for the game, and then Leicester could counter on the attack and nick it on the break.
Looking at your next games then, Craig, I mean, the Arsenals are coming up again, the Man Cities and that. How many points are you guys going to realistically get after the Leicester game until the end of the season?
That was the thing when Darren was appointed, because I saw the fixtures coming up in January, and you had the likes of Arsenal, and you didn't expect anything from like the Arsenal game and the United game. So to get the 3 points out of those 3 games was a surprise. So that's something. But yeah, looking forward, obviously Tottenham are in a good form recently, so that's going to be a tough game. You got Arsenal. West Ham, in previous seasons, you'd expect to get something from that game, but they look in much more competitive this season under Ollie Harder, now that he's got the players he wants in. Man City again. So Everton, now that they've got rid of the manager, that you expect that's going to be a much tougher game than it would have been. So that's another one. So you're looking realistically at the games against the teams around. So you got the Villa game, you got the Leicester game. So it's going to be, and again, Leicester's a similar position. They're going to be looking at games against like the likes of maybe Brighton. I can't remember if you've already played them or not, but again, it's going to be the teams that round the bottom half of the table. Those are the games you're going to be looking to try and pick up points, and then hope to keep the score down when you play in the top four, which is obviously the minimum you expect. Hopefully.
I think Birmingham this season it's been about goal difference, hasn't it, Craig? I mean, it's how many goals have gone in their end rather than in the opposition's. I mean, the season of a whole, I mean, defensively leaking goals isn't good at this level, is it? I mean, when you play against the big teams, they like to counter, don't they? I mean, Reading are one of them teams who like to play over the top. If you can capitalise them and stop that from happening, I mean, it's always difficult. But then you look at teams like Reading, the Evertons, the Aston Villas, teams like that. You look to get points from them, wouldn't you? Go looking at the start of the season, you think they're the games to keep you up, aren't they? If you can get points out of them sort of games. Yeah,
I think in games that we have lost heavily, I think that it's been a series of goals in a short amount of period of space, which has cost us the game. And then after that, you have to try and score the goals, and then they're going to catch you on the break, like against United. They scored 3 goals in the space of like 6 minutes, which is ridiculous. That shouldn't happen. And Darren Carter wasn't happy about that in his post match in that one. So I think if Birmingham can keep the score down and get a goal, then they can maintain the lead. But it's obviously, if you score too early, then they've got more time to get back into the game, and that proved the case against the Reading. Obviously, 2 early goals, and then Reading were invited back into the game, and they took their chances.
Yes. Player of the season then, Craig, from a Birmingham perspective, who do you think's been good, and who do you think's been bad this season?
I don't think anyone's been bad, but in terms of players that have impressed me, obviously you got the leadership of Louise Quinn coming in, who's the captain leading the squad, someone who's got experience playing abroad and obviously winning the WSL. But I think in terms of the players who impressed me the most this season is Beatrice Sari, the Greek international. She's been scoring crucial goals at the right time. She scored one of the goals against Arsenal. She scored against Sunderland last weekend. I think she's just a really tricky player. Ironic with her name, but she's just a real wizard on the ball. She's very technical. She can take on players. She can score great goals. She scored the equaliser against Villa last season, which was instrumental in keeping us up in the relegation battle then as well. So she's someone who's only 24 years old, but she's showing real experience and real leadership at a early age to bring the team up and get the crucial points when they matter.
Yeah. Very last question then, Craig. Score prediction.
That's the $1 million question. I'm gonna say I don't expect us to keep a clean sheet because we haven't been doing that recently. But I'm gonna say a 2-1 win. You're probably gonna say the opposite.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2-1 Leicester. Why not?
Why not?
I think Sigsworth needs to start scoring, so I'm gonna go with Jess. And I'm gonna go with Shannon O'Brien again. I think Shannon is proving pivotal this season, and she's been very good technically, and so is the team. So if we can keep that momentum going, then we just can't overlook Birmingham City women. Do you know what I mean? You've got to go into the game with a positive mindset, the mentality in that. You can't underestimate them sort of games because you don't know what's around the corner, do you, if you do? So I think, wish you the very best of luck to Birmingham after the game on Sunday, Craig.
And to you. Take care. Thank you for having me on.
Take care, mate. Thank you. Right then, guys. Let's get to the Nottingham Forest game. Not long now till the East Midlands derby. Leicester City travel to the City Ground on Sunday. The boys are back after the winter break. Let's get nitty gritty into this one then. How good will it feel playing the team who claim we are not their rivals? They don't care about us. They've sold out for Leicester. They've come to see the FA Cup winners. A few Forest fans think they're going to come and turn Leicester over. I mean, it's going to be a very good game. It's going to be a scrappy one. There's going to be a lot of fighting from the teams on the football pitch, of course. Not in the stands. I hope not. But no, this game has been in the making for 8 long years. The FA Cup draws kept coming and coming, and we kept missing out on Nottingham Forest. But now we get to play the East Midlands rivals, the East Midlands derby. So, you know, we don't want to play for the Brian Clough Cup. Who does? Who'd want the Brian Clough Cup when you can have the FA Cup, eh? Let's get comments in. Come on, you foxes. Come on, Hayden. Evening, pal. How are you? Leicester fans, memories of pastimes versus Forest then. From Anthony Knockout scoring in the last minute to Paul Gallagher scoring in the family stand end from a free kick. Which are ones we got? Riyad Mahrez scoring in the draw. Jamie Vardy scoring at the City Ground. Andy King scoring at the City Ground. Gelson Fernandez getting a goal at the City Ground. It's going to be a tasty one, isn't it? The Jermaine Beckford hat-trick in the FA Cup replay. That one lives long in the memory, does it, Forest fans? Come on, Leicester. Let's win the FA Cup. This one is going to be very tasty, Leicester fans. If you're not watching this on playback, let me know your best memory of the East Midlands derby of Forest versus Leicester or Leicester versus Forest. It could be at the King Power. It could be at City Ground. You let me know your best memories and your best goals. It's a good one. Obviously, seeing Jermaine Beckford score that hat-trick. Could have had 4 if it weren't for Boateng. I mean, it's always good to play your East Midlands rivals. It's an exciting one, Leicester fans. I'm really looking forward to this one. So should everybody else who's got tickets. Be loud, be proud, push the boys on. We're going to have a team of Ndidi, Daka, Lutman, Harvey Barnes. Players like that, James Justin, Casper Schmeichel or Danny Ward, Luke Thomas, James Madison, Yuri Tillemans, KDH, Hamza Chowdhury. We're going to have players like that gracing the turf at the City Ground come Sunday evening. It's a long one waited to happen. I know Dora on Tour's looking for this one. He's counting down. So am I. If you're excited for this game, smash a like. If you're going, let me know in the comments. It'd be very much appreciated. The knockout 3-2. Yes, that was the one where Bolton could have got playoffs, Forest could have got playoffs, or Leicester. But then Leicester went and picked it, didn't they? Allaire de Bleu. Allaire de Bleu. Come on, you foxes. Yes. If you're watching on YouTube tonight, smash a like and subscribe to Leicester Fan TV if you can. Push that notification button on YouTube, please. It will tell you every time we are live on Leicester Fan TV. If you're watching on Facebook right now, go and hit that like button if you've enjoyed tonight's show. It'd be very much appreciated. It's going to be a very tasty affair come Sunday. Hopefully, we can come out the ground with a smile on our faces, knowing we beat the Forest. I've got 2 tickets. Dorco, go and enjoy the game, mate. I've got tickets as well for that game. It's going to be a very good game. There's a lot of memories from that game. either at City Ground or at King Power. I mean, a lot's happened since we last visited the City Ground, Leicester fans. We've won the Premier League. We've won the FA Cup. We've won the Community Shield. We've done it. We've won everything that England's cup competitions have had to offer. And we've won the prestigious one, the Premier League. I mean, Nottingham Forest are going to be coming to see the FA Cup winners. You've only come to watch the Leicester. Just a bit of banter. Tomorrow night, obviously, Mr. Door on Tour will be here live on Leicester Fan TV, talking to Tom at 9 o'clock. He'll be here. Go and give him that banter and that. Go and give it to him, Leicester fans. Get in the comments to him. You know, I'm sure it's going to be a great show tomorrow with Tom for the away fan chat show with Door on Tour. On Saturday, I will be joining Door on Tour live on Saturday night at 9 o'clock. Head over to Door on Tour's channel on Saturday at 9 o'clock. Come and support me. Come on, Leicester fans. We're an army. Come on. Let's go over to Forest channels. Let's go and make this a tasty game. It's gonna be a tasty affair. It's gonna be a good chat. You know, but you know, apparently we're not their rivals. They don't care about us. We're just a Premier League team to them. Just let them have it, eh? It's going to be a very good game. I mean, guys, score predictions then, please. Give me your score predictions. Watch the scores on the doors on Sunday then. Give me the score predictions. What do you think is going to happen? Who's going to score? Who's going to start? Give me your score predictions. What is the score going to be at the City Ground on Sunday? Can Leicester City make it through to the next round? Get your score predictions in. Who's going to score that winning goal at the City Ground? Who will be the hero? Will it be Tillemans? Will it be James Maddison? Will it be Patson Daka? Who will do it for Leicester City Football Club? I mean, they're sitting there on their end saying that, oh, we beat Arsenal, we're going to come and spank you. Well, I mean, let them have that sort of momentum going into that game. Delivery driver, to my weight reckons Forest won't put a strong team out. They need one for midweek. Think it's Blackburn. Interesting, Joanna, that. 55 0 or 5-5. 2-1 to Leicester. Come on, you Blues. Kelechi. Will Kelechi be the Leicester City Jermaine Beckford scoring the FA Cup? Will he be Mr. FA Cup? Jermaine Beckford. Kelechi Iheanacho, sorry, not Jermaine Beckford. Jermaine Beckford's long gone. How are you doing, Jack? Yes, I'm good, mate. How are you? Hayden's gone for 2-1. Maddison and KDH. Do you know what? The atmosphere. Guys, if you're going, get behind the team. Sing loud and proud in the West Bridgeford stand. Go and sing your hearts out. Get behind that team. Make the City Ground your fortress. Take over, Leicester fans. Take over Nottingham. Paint Nottingham blue. Let's go and do it. 4-0 to City. Joanna, who's going to score? Yes, I'm good. See you there. Yes. It's a big game. It might not be to Forest because we're some Premier League side from the Midlands, but it is to Leicester. Let's go to Nottingham. Let's go and get to the next round. Let's go and take the fight to Nottingham Forest. Let's go and show what we're about on the football pitch. Let's go and defend our FA Cup. Let's go and defend it. Why not? I mean, it's going to be pride of the Midlands. Do you know what? Leicester City, are coming. Let's go and enjoy ourselves. And let's get behind Brendan and the boys. I know the Premier League has not been the greatest this season, Leicester fans, of what we expected. But let's put that aside. It's the FA Cup. We're the holders. We are the FA Cup holders. The FA Cup holders. Who would have been saying that about 10 years ago, 13 years ago? When we, or when we're in League One, who would have said Leicester City are going to be the FA Cup winners, the Premier League winners, the Community Shield winners? Who would have said that? Because, to be honest, who would have believed it? I mean, Vishai's made it possible. Put respect on Vishai's name. He's made the dream possible, a reality. And thank him for that. He was incredible. Positive vibes, exactly. Hope there'll be some live streams being escorted down the side of the Trent. Do you know what? Maybe we'll be going for a swim after in the Trent. Joanna, Leicester fans, take your swimming trunks. Now, go and enjoy yourselves, Leicester fans. Up the Blue Army. Come on, the Foxes. Let's go and paint Nottingham blue. It's going to be a very good game. We can't overlook Nottingham Forest or underestimate them. We just need to play our game. If we can do that, then let's go and enjoy ourselves. Lewis Grabban is obviously going to be out for Nottingham Forest. He got injured against Cardiff. But they've still got some players up front who you would say can score goals. The Keenan Davises from Aston Villa. The bloke who they've just signed from Stoke City, I believe. So, yeah, Joe Worrell, them sorts of players. Steve Cooper will make it difficult for Leicester, but let's go make it more difficult for Nottingham Forest. Them boys down the road, Trent side. Let's go and get behind the Blue Army. Let's go and push them on, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we're in the next round come Sunday night. Let's do it for the boss. Yes, agreed. Guys, thank you so much for watching tonight. It's been a real pleasure. Smash a like on Facebook if you're watching on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, smash a like on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. Push the notification button on YouTube. If you're watching on playback, get involved. Get your comments in. We want to know your favourite memories of Leicester versus Forest or Forest versus Leicester. Get it in the comments after this if you're going to be watching it back. Wouldn't mind a penalty shootout at the away end as long as Leicester win it. Well, that not. I'm going Leicester versus Riders. Enjoy, mate. My birthday is next week. Happy birthday. Right, guys. What's coming up on Leicester Fan TV then? So, Door on Tour will be guest appearing on Leicester Fan TV tomorrow night. Get in the comments to him as Tom gets the lowdown as Leicester take on Forest in the FA Cup 4th round. We'll be talking to Door on Tour. Friday, Reedy will be looking from a Leicester perspective ahead of the big East Midlands encounter at the City Ground at the weekend. The watch-along will be on Sunday. If you can't make it to the game and you're at home, go and check out the watch-along. Go and support the boys. Phil will be back on Monday, hopefully, with a Leicester City win. Will that Nottingham Forest fan show up on Monday night on Phil's show? Mr. Nottingham Forest, if you're watching, we want you on. We want you on. Come on. You can give it in the comments. We want to put names to faces. Come on. If you've got the balls, then come on the show on Monday. Phil will be waiting for you. Don't worry. And then next week, I'll be talking to Liverpool ahead of the big Premier League clash at Anfield. So, right, guys. Thank you so much for watching tonight. Smash a like, share, subscribe to Leicester Fan TV if you can. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Snapchat, Leicester Fan TV. It'd be really much appreciated. Thank you to all these guys, the sponsors, ADT, Hollogram, Tiger, Pizzeria, Pukka Pies, Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, the Foxes Arms, Newby Co, and Hope Against Cancer. Thank you to all the guys who sponsor us here at Leicester Fan TV. Thank you to you guys for all the comments, all the likes, all the shares. By the fans, for the fans. Love getting everyone's opinion ahead of the big clash at the weekend. Let's not forget Leicester City women also in action. Take on Birmingham City women at St Andrews at 2 o'clock. So come on, Leicester City women. Let's go and get them 3 vital points in the WSL. And hopefully it'll be a double win come Sunday evening. Leicester City women and Leicester City men. So come on, you Foxes. This is Jack from Leicester Fan TV saying goodbye. Bye-bye for now. And see you in a bit. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone. Come on, Leicester! Let's go! See you in a bit, everyone.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.